Hi there, I'm Noordine. In English Seekers podcast, I'm going to be sharing with you simple ways to take your English to the next level so you can speak fluently and confidently without even thinking about grammar rules or vocabulary. So much so, our focus will be more on day to day English vocabulary, idioms, expressions, and grammar. Finally, it's going to be fun. Let's get it started. What is good, seekers, and welcome back. Listening is a great tool for having a good communication between two human beings, especially if you understand what you're listening to. Without understanding what people say, it's going to be hard to communicate with them. And on top of that, you can't express your feelings and you can't share your ideas. Now, let's make our talk more specific. There is a gap that English students have or make when they start learning English without listening to the source of the language. What does that mean? They predict pronouncing the words that they come across while they're reading or while they're learning English at the class or whatever. They ignore listening to native speakers. So when you have a word, listen carefully to how native speakers pronounce this word, and then imitate the sounds, copy the sounds, and practice over and over again until it becomes easy to pronounce like a native speaker. Why is that important, and how can that help me? When you know how to pronounce the words like native speakers, after listening multiple times to the way they are pronouncing and sounding the words, your ears gradually will get used to that, and you will be able to recognize the words when you hear Americans speak or British people. It doesn't matter what is the accent that you prefer. I'm talking right now about something general to focus on so you can be able to recognize English people when they speak. So step number 1, listen to the native speakers. And I have 2 great tools that you can use to improve your listening. Number 1, Merriam-Webster. You can download the app or visit the website. It's an American dictionary, which means that you don't have to worry about finding other accents in case if you want to learn the American accent. And I want you to bear in mind that an English dictionary will help you a lot because you now translate from English to English. By other words, use simple English words to understand the big and the hard ones. I'm not asking you here, guys, to read all the definitions that you find for this word. No, I'm just asking you to find or to search for easy definitions and look for the synonyms, and you will find the equivalent words. Words having the same meaning, but you know these words. Number 2, you can go and visit youglish.com. This website helps you pick up a particular word from millions of videos on YouTube. Now, after finding the word that you are looking for, you can listen to this word as you like, and you can also adjust the playback speed, which means you can slow down the talk to catch the pronunciation easily and to notice how they move from a letter to another one and how they link the words together. Just for a second here, actually that leads us to another important point, which is most of the time you don't understand native speakers because you're not familiar with the reductions that they use during their talk. And by the way, each and every spoken language has its own reductions. So don't think that Americans at some points butchering English. For a moment, I want you to think about your own native language and how you put the words together to easily communicate with people. After being familiar now with the standard pronunciation, you can now go and see how they link between the words. So you can use reductions as well. Today I have 2 words for you as an example. You have
these two words in the dictionary, and of course you will have in the dictionary the standard English. I have the word comfortable and the word continuity. Some people, English students, when they try to pronounce this word, they say comfortable or comfortable, okay? But actually this word has 3 different pronunciations, and sometimes it depends on the state, okay? You can say comfortable, comfortable. And by the way here, guys, when you have a big word, try to break down this word into small parts, okay, into chunks, so you can pronounce it correctly. So comfortable, 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 comfortable. And you have comfortable, comfortable, and you have comfortable. So my point here is to go and find the pronunciation for the word that you stumbled on. The second word, you have continuity. Continuity. Some Americans, they say continuity, and others, they say continuity. Continuity. So basically, this is why, by the way, I gave you these 2 tools, because you have in the dictionary the standard English, but on the other side, you have how people use this word, okay? The spoken English. For example, I'm going to give you another one here. You have the word while. If you go to the dictionary, you have while as a standard pronunciation, but how Americans say this word, they say while, okay? So you can say, while I was talking to my mom on the phone, someone knocked the door. You can say, while I was talking to my mom on the phone, someone knocked the door. So they use while here, they say while, to make it easy to say the words or to put the words together, okay? So you can use Merriam-Webster or Youglish.com. English, guys, is pronounced differently from how it's written, especially when people speak and use the words. So much so, do not pronounce English in your native language. Always check the pronunciation if it's possible. I'm not pushing you to the corner. Just if it's possible for you to do so, just go and try to check the vocabulary that you have. Maybe you have a word that you mispronounce and gives you another meaning, okay? This is in case, guys, if you want to perfect your pronunciation, if you want to speak like a native speaker. And by the way, it's okay, guys. I'm not here telling you to eradicate your accent or remove your accent. Some people are really proud of their accents. As Amy Chua said, do you know what a foreign accent is a sign of bravery. So it's not bad at all to have an accent. But if you want to perfect the language, you gotta pay attention to how you sound. And that gives you confidence when you speak, because you're not afraid of mispronouncing a word. And please, as I mentioned before, speaking like natives doesn't happen overnight. Practice and practice. Then after practicing, practice more. Practice more than your first practice. Now let's move on to the next part of today's episode, which is, do I have to study English all the time? I always believe, guys, in having fun and enjoying what you learn, whether it's a language or a skill you would like to pick up. Just have fun, okay? So have fun with English. And you only need to study to put English together. It's like a portfolio or a dossier, or you can think of it as a backpack that you need to keep your stuff in it to not lose them. Studying makes you spot your mistakes and fix them. Think of studying as a process to polish your English and to keep it clean from mistakes. I mentioned in the previous episode the example of learning how to drive a car. My point here, guys, without knowing and getting the right information to drive the car, you wouldn't be able to drive properly, and you would end up crashing, right? So knowing or studying English will help you going through English or speaking English properly. Look, guys, I think like most of you know chess, okay? In chess, you have to know the rules so you can play the game. But that doesn't qualify you to be a grandmaster or to be professional. No, you can know the rules, but later on you can play with your own rules. You can sacrifice major pieces in order to checkmate your opponent. That's here the point. Finally, and I will conclude with this, speaking is the most essential key in the process of learning a language and being fluent in this language. Without speaking, you're just studying for exams to get a piece of paper, the certificate that you're looking for, guys, that you will add to your resume later on. As I mentioned last time, do not treat English as something that you're going to have only for your resume, okay? And you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of money getting courses without knowing how to study English effectively. Please have fun with the language and know exactly how to study the language effectively, all right? And I said before, when you're studying for exams only, right now, you don't enjoy the language. You're just wasting your time. Remember that the beginning stages are frustrating. I know that. So don't give up on your goals and keep trying and trying. And after a while, believe me, it won't hurt as much and you won't make as many mistakes. Just do your best. If you want something that you've never had, you gotta do something that you've never done. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please feel free to share this with your friends and have a beautiful and wonderful day. See you next time.